Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? So I watched this movie, Most Beautiful Island, because it was on a list of like top streaming movies that came out this week, but it was on Rotten Tomatoes and it said that 100% of critics liked the movie. However, only 33% of audiences liked it. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, okay, this is gonna be fucking interesting. And believe me when I say, boy, was it ever. And although the movie's pretty damn slow, there's a certain part of the movie where I was just like, what? And by the end of the movie, I was just kind of like, okay, holy shit, that was real slow, but boy, was it worth the wait. It's kind of like when you eat a slow cooked meal and it takes about 3 or 4 hours to prepare, but it turns out being so fucking delicious because you put just the right amount of garlic on it. You know, unless of course you're one of those weirdos that for some reason doesn't like garlic, which I respect your opinion, but you can pretty much kiss my ass. But anyway, the main plot of the movie is about a Spanish immigrant who comes to America, and she's come to America because she wants to change scenery because she experienced a tragedy at one point, and it's very obvious that she doesn't have a lot of money, doesn't have a lot of resources, but a friend of hers recommends her for a job, and all of a sudden she finds herself in a situation where she's bitten off a little bit more than she can chew, and that's all I'm gonna tell you. Because I personally didn't really know shit about this movie going into it, and I was very impressed. And the movie overall is kind of a commentary on undocumented immigrants. Like, it just illustrates how it's just really not easy sometimes and how you can get stuck in certain situations that get really fucking serious really quick. Also, this movie is written, directed, and starring Anna Asensio, who I've never heard of, but needless to say, after watching this movie, I am really curious as to what she does next. Plus, she's really easy on the eyes, and that's never a bad thing. And it's also noteworthy about this movie has very little music, if any at all. I think there might have been 1 or 2 scenes maybe with music, but I think the lack of music was to point out how serious that situation was, because real life is much more serious than a work of fiction, and in real life there's not music playing around in the background of your life all the time. So that was good, and I also really like the camera work. And like, I don't know a whole lot about cinematography, like I'm not like super familiar with like camera angles and stuff like that, obviously, if you couldn't tell. But the stuff that this movie chose to focus on was really telling. And if you're a literary or like a writing or script writing nerd, like you'll eat this movie up, I think. Because there's foreshadowing, there's callbacks, there's not a lot of dialogue, and there's a lot more visual representation. And I don't know if everybody else will enjoy it, but I personally thought the climax was fucking brilliant. I kept guessing until the very end. I was like, what in holy hell is going on right now? However, I'm sure this movie's probably not going to be for everybody because it is pretty slow for a long time, but I thought the climax was totally worth it, and I thought it was worth the wait. And the movie did kind of beat you over the head a little bit with how badly the main character is struggling, but I think ultimately that was kind of necessary so that you kind of like identify with her and like kind of have compassion for her. But despite that, there is something to be said about this movie because it does stay on track and it focuses on the main subject. And when it does meander, it's still kind of relevant. But overall, guys, I would have to say that I just enjoyed the subject matter of the movie in general. Because I've been to New York, but I don't live there, and I don't know what it's like to be an immigrant, so this movie was super interesting to me. So based on everything, I think I'm gonna give it an 8.8 out of 10. It's not an easy movie to watch, and I probably wouldn't want to watch it again, and I don't know how most audiences will handle the movie, because this isn't your typical big budget blockbuster movie. This is a very micro budget, very character heavy kind of film. But I read into it and I got it, so hopefully other people can too. But anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you seen this movie? Have you even heard of it? Hop in the comments, let me know what's up. Other than that, if you like this video, give me a like, subscribe, share, do all that other bullshit, and I will catch you guys later.